Get that thing out of my house. Those were the first words Daniel Carter said after his son was born. Not joy, not relief, not even silence. Just rejection. The kind that doesn't echo for seconds, but for decades. The nurses froze. Emily Carter, still weak from hours of labor, pulled the child closer to her chest, as if she could protect him from words already spoken. And in that moment, a father made a decision that would follow him for the next 25 years. Because the child he called a curse would grow up to become something no one, especially him, could have ever predicted. And when their paths crossed again, only one of them would be ready for the truth. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Daniel Carter was a man who believed life had rules. Work hard, stay disciplined, build something that lasts. He had done exactly that, turning a small construction job into a stable business through years of effort. People respected him, not because he was kind, but because he was dependable, predictable, the kind of man who believed outcomes were earned, not given. His wife, Emily, balanced him. She was patient where he was rigid, compassionate where he was focused on results. For years, they tried to have a child. When Emily finally became pregnant, Daniel didn't celebrate loudly, but something in him settled. In his mind, everything was finally falling into place. He spoke often about the future. My son will carry my name, my strength. To him, a son wasn't just a child. It was legacy, proof that everything he built would continue. But beneath those words was something unspoken. He didn't just want a child. He wanted a perfect son. The day Jacob was born began with anticipation and ended in silence. After 18 hours of labor, Emily finally heard her child cry. But instead of relief, the room shifted. The doctor hesitated. Just briefly, but enough. When Jacob was placed in Emily's arms, she held him instantly. He was small, his limbs shorter than expected. Different. The doctor explained carefully. Achondroplasia. A genetic condition. No one's fault. A child who could still live a full life. But Daniel had already stepped back. What is that? It wasn't curiosity. It was disbelief. Emily called his name, asking him to come closer. But his expression hardened. That's not my son. Those words changed everything. Emily broke down, trying to explain, reminding him of their years of waiting, of hope. But Daniel didn't move. He refused to hold his son. And within days, he was gone. He left the hospital and never came back. Divorce followed quickly. No arguments. No attempts to reconnect. Just distance, final and complete. Emily was left alone with Jacob, facing a world that didn't always understand. People didn't just judge the child, they judged her. She felt it everywhere. In conversations that stopped when she entered. In questions people didn't ask directly. But she adapted. She worked harder, endured longer, and chose every day to keep going. Jacob grew up without a father, but not without strength. He was observant, quiet, thoughtful. He noticed how people looked at him, how expectations shifted. But instead of breaking, he adjusted. School became his ground. He focused, learned, improved. Teachers noticed. Then others did too. He didn't demand attention. He earned respect. As he grew older, the world became harsher. Words cut deeper. People judged faster. But Jacob didn't chase acceptance. He built confidence through progress. He studied people, systems, patterns. He understood something early. The world doesn't reward appearance. It rewards value. By adulthood, that understanding had transformed him. Jacob Carter became a public speaker, sharing his story, not for sympathy, but for impact. He spoke about resilience, identity, and perspective. People listened because his words were real. What his father rejected had become his strength. The same thing his father called a curse became his greatest strength. 25 years passed. Daniel Carter aged. His business declined. His health weakened. The control he once relied on faded. And slowly, something replaced it. Reflection. He thought about that hospital room. About words he could never take back. And then one day, their paths crossed again. It happened in a hospital waiting area. Daniel sat quietly, older, alone. Across the room, a man spoke calmly to a group. Confident. Composed. Daniel noticed him briefly. When the man turned, their eyes met. No recognition. Just a glance between strangers. Jacob stepped forward. Do I know you? Daniel asked. You should. My name is Jacob Carter. Silence followed. Then recognition. Slow, heavy, undeniable. Daniel's expression changed as the past rushed back. I made a mistake, he said quietly. I should have been there. Jacob listened. Calm. Steady. You called me a curse, he said. But I learned to live without you. There was no anger in his voice. Just truth. Daniel lowered his gaze, understanding finally settling in. The life he walked away from had moved on. Without him. I don't expect forgiveness, Daniel said. Jacob paused. I don't hate you, he replied. But that doesn't mean things can go back to what they never were. Daniel nodded, accepting it, because he knew it was true. Jacob stepped back. I hope you find peace. And then he walked away. Daniel watched him leave, realizing the full weight of his decision. Not just what he lost, but what he never allowed himself to have. Sometimes, the people we reject become the ones we need the most. Do you think the father deserved forgiveness? And what would you have done if you were in Jacob's position? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe for more real stories like this.